Making Dylan hate drama. Welcome back to another episode of Mike and Dylan hate drama. Today we have some advice that is actually very serious.
Very. Actually, trigger warning. It contains.
Fuck a trigger warning. If you're here, look.
No. I mean, it's a serious
Papa didn't give me no trigger warning before he fucking diddled my butthole.
I thought you said he never did.
God, welcome to another. Welcome to another episode of Mike and Dylan hate drama. That was a joke.
I got you.
God,
but yeah, no, like I mean, serious.
It is very.
This
very
one
serious.
will contain stuff about sexual assault. So, if that is something that is not something you want to listen to, I would just skip this episode.
And if it's not something you want to hear Mike make jokes about, then I would also. No, I'm just fucking with you. I ain't gonna make any jokes. Look, Mike knows when to be serious. He knows when to be funny. We also have some reviews, which
I think Mike's gonna like reading these ones.
If they're bad, I'm going to sexually assault you. So
me?
No,
the person
that wrote them. Yeah. If they're bad, I will sexually assault Dylan on camera. So
OnlyFans, here we come. Somebody's into it.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are into that. We're hitting a lot of niches though. Guy on guy, sexual assault, BDSM. Do the thing where I rubber band your nutsack. I saw that once without my consent. Mm. That's what's so funny too about anybody who's ever streamed or illegally streamed sports or something like that. It's a hard life because you'll just get random ads, and they're 9 times out of 10 porn ads. Because I guess porn knows where to, or they're just very limited where they can advertise to.
Yeah, and they know that's where their audience lies probably too.
Yeah, I'll be watching a UFC pay-per-view, and then it's just like a guy chained up to a wall, his balls all contorted.
So would you be a BBM?
What is that?
Big beautiful man. Like a BBW, big beautiful
I guess that would be my genre of porn. BBG, big beautiful guy.
There you go.
There BBG. We go. All right, so I haven't seen any of the reviews yet. I know this one is the story because it's very long, and we want to reiterate again. Trigger warning to those who have been sexually assaulted or will be sexually assaulted in the future. All right.
Can you pre-trigger?
If you have an inkling, you could. I mean, there's some people like you see and you're like, maybe they could assault me. So, all right. So the first one is from Chris. The title is Couldn't Figure Out How to Comment. It's apparently a big issue on Spotify.
And Apple Podcasts.
Yes, because I'll be like, comment, guys, and nobody will comment.
We get a pretty good number of comments, but yeah, for the amount of listeners, I think it's probably 0.01%.
You know who gets more comments? Smosh and Two Hot Takes. And I understand they're way more watched and loved than us, but that means that we have to put in extra. You know what? I'm gonna create like 1,000 accounts.
There you go.
And
we'll be off to the races.
I'm just every comment's gonna be, wow, such podcast. Like the fucking 2013 meme. Just wanted to drop some feedback. You guys are killing it. But for the love of all that is holy, stop overthinking or second-guessing your talent for storytelling. The podcast is incredibly entertaining. The tangents, the personal stories, the wandering conversations is what makes it unique. I want to fuck this guy. Also, I was glad to hear that Mike finally realized that maintaining a constant distance from the microphone is really important for the listener. So good job, Mike. Honestly, though, that was my only real complaint. I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. Keep up the great work, and just know that the world needs more people willing to speak the uncomfortable truth. Definitely fucking this guy. What's his name? Chris?
He just did a beautiful, I was telling my wife about this before, and she doesn't like to give criticism. And I was like, you got to make a compliment sandwich. And that's exactly what that guy did. He led with a compliment, made a little criticism, and then a compliment on the backside. So that Mike just totally glossed over the part that he was like, "Thanks for maintaining."
Not taking any of the feedback. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna fuck with this. Yeah. I'm gonna push it back, and then Dylan's just gonna reach over and push it forward. I wonder how many times that's been seen on camera. Just me pushing the mic back. I'm like, this mic is too close.
Never too close.
That's autism. Okay, so you guys making fun of that is actually ableist, and I will cancel you and take your jobs, and your family will be able to eat nothing.
You're going to take all their jobs? So you're going to work their jobs?
No.
Oh, you're going to get them fired?
Yeah, like cancel culture. They would get them fired from. They ain't going to work their jobs. Come on, it's the cancel culture people.
I thought you were going to take their jobs, as in like, now I've got 14 different jobs that I've got.
The next one says, don't fold the maps.
That was the name provided, so.
Oh, okay.
From Don't Fold the Maps.
Dear Dylan and Mike, don't like this guy. I did that just to piss Mike off. He succeeded. Oh, look at that. He succeeded. Reddit has been around for quite a while, and I'd love to get Mike to read and comment on some of the crazier and more memorable stories. I love the pods and the vibes you two are putting out, and never let an episode go by without a mention of a mayonnaise dick. Which Dylan, by the way, he was like, I don't think people are going to like mayonnaise. They love mayonnaise dick. Mayonnaise dick is a cultural phenomenon akin to Stone Cold Steve Austin's rise in WWF during the Monday Night Wars.
Once again, if you listen back to these episodes, I am the one that keeps bringing up mayonnaise dick. You have left it by the wayside back in the day. And
once this becomes a Dylan thing, we're going to kill mayonnaise dick. We're going to kill it like
it is a Dylan thing because I'm the one that keeps bringing it up in every episode. You're the one that's like, I told you it was going to be
mayonnaise
something, and then you forgot about it.
And we will kill it when I am ready to. The next review is from David. The title says, review, ? So it's review. Hey, Mike and Dylan. I listen to y'all's podcast on Apple. Oh, man. I think this is the first time someone's actually mentioned they listen on Apple. And don't know how to leave feedback on that. But I just wanted to say that I'm a truck driver, and I really enjoyed the podcast, especially the longer episodes, because I've got all day. That, like I said, that and the guy who was like, said he was working on trains at night, and he felt like we were there with him. Yeah, man, that should melt some heart, man. Makes me want to cry a little bit. And then I realized crying's gay. So I suck the tears back up into my face and I keep, men ain't supposed to have emotions.
You ever watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Yeah, where the fucking black officer just, get back in there.
He's like, this is about to make me cry. Not today.
Yeah, he sucks it back in. That's dope, though. Well, guys, these were very beautiful reviews. And if you guys want to have us read your advice or your reviews, as long as they're nice, if they're really, really bad, like...
No, I think those ones would be fun. I mean, roast us.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, okay. We should have a roast me segment where you can either roast me or Dylan. Go to mikeanddylan.com, MikeandDylan.com, and just put the title as roast whoever. Roast Mike, roast Dylan.
Or roast the podcast.
Yeah, roast the podcast. We'll do a roast me section because Reddit has one of those too.
Yeah, and I think it'll be great to just hear, because like there'll be some truths in those roasts, and we can actually learn from those just as good.
Some hard truths, yeah.
But then we can roast you back too.
Well, we don't know what they look like.
No, but we'll just...
Oh my God, if you want to send in a picture of your face, we'll roast you. We'll do like a Reddit. I'm really good at roasting people. I hurt your feelings though.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking they roast us, and then we just playfully roast back like you do on a normal roast. Like,
no, I don't want to bury them.
No. We're asking for their input, so I think it's a very good thing for us to...
My tooth's broken. Now I get food in the tooth, and I feel a piece in there, so I'm just like, fucking work up.
There's the ADHD.
Trying to get it out. All right, so we're going to get into this advice. Like we said, it's a bit of a rough one. Still not giving no trigger warning.
You already did, so...
Well, from listener submission. That's a crazy name, bro.
I wasn't going to put the listener name in case that was identifiable.
My boyfriend's mom keeps showing up despite him having a restraining order, but he won't call the cops. The message, quick warning for a brief discussion of sexual assault and abuse. My 21 female, boyfriend, 25 male, has a restraining order against his mom. We'll call her Jocasta. What does that mean in a different language?
I have no idea.
Or that must be a name. And has had it ever since he was 18. A little bit of background as to why he got the restraining order. Jocasta let her brother, his uncle, sexually assault my boyfriend from the time he was 6 until the time he was 12, along with taking pictures of my boyfriend. Uncle was never jailed, and Jocasta constantly defended him. And then, to put it mildly, she herself treated my boyfriend. Makes me believe that Sigmund Freud's Oedipus complex might be real.
Sigmund Freud.
Yeah, Sigmund Freud. I got that part. But what's the next part? Oedipus.
I can't read without looking at it.
Might be real. So I'm just going to quickly insert my thoughts on child predators. I believe that, I think I've stated it before, that we need to bring back, like,
episode or
that we need to burn child molesters just in public.
Well, like, you said
guillotines. Yeah, guillotines. I mean, like I said, or...
I mean, it could be a little
stake, the little pyres. You get, like I said, if you build one pyre and you put a child molester there, and then you burn him in public in front of thousands of people. I forgot how many one and whatever are like child molesters, but there's going to be a couple of them there, and guess what? It's going to dissuade them. They're going to be like, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." But if we continually give people a year, and I don't understand, I can't stand family members who defend the family predator. I can't fucking stand it at all.
anybody that defends the predator. Like,
Look, what if we just organized just a Mike and Dylan meet and greet at the uncle's house? And then we build a pyre and we burn them in the front yard. I mean, maybe not as far, because that's a lot of jail time.
Yeah.
Isn't
it wild though that
the jury would convict us?
Well, and that's where I think there's still a semblance of like decency and humanity, because like there is the crime of passion. Like, had that kid had a father and that father went over and
just blew his fucking brains out, yeah,
then
painted a wall with his
most
noggin.
Likely he would be let off without being in trouble for that. But like that's the only time, because like if somebody else gets upset about that situation and goes and does it, it's not a crime of passion.
Right. Why, how is it not a crime of passion if I'm like real passionate about killing child predators? Like, I'm like very, very passionate about building pyres. Well, and like that, like I got a whole board dedicated to how to build a pyre and then how you properly set the child molester on there. It shows that I have a lot of passion for this. Okay. So technically it is a crime of passion.
Well, and I think the whole part that makes it make sense is, if there is undeniable proof. With this one, there's fucking pictures and shit like that got done. That's undeniable proof that there was the predator. He was I just watched this
lawyer talk about how sometimes circumstantial evidence is better than like actual, like I forgot what the other one is, a circumstantial and then some other evidence. But technically circumstantial would be like, you didn't watch them commit the crime, but you watched them walk out of a house bloody with a knife in hand and they throw their knife in the trash can and they walk away. Technically that's circumstantial evidence. So I still think like if you got 3 kids from different places, because this was a problem in my wife's family about a predator over there, which nobody fucking defended him except for like his immediate family. Everybody wants him to die. He had a bunch of kids come forward just from all different places, didn't have time to get their fucking stories together. And like some of them were like 5 or 6. Not real apt to throw in just random stories together.
Yeah.
Imaginative. I think at that point too, yeah, we can put you on the pyre.
Yeah.
And it will be a beautifully made pyre, very susceptible to igniting quickly. So I like, because it starts at their feet, so they have you seen Game of Thrones?
No.
Well, there was a guy, he led the wildlings, and they burned him on a pyre, and he was like a really tough man. Don't matter how tough you are, once you get set on fire, just manliness goes out the door. It's a rough way to go. All right. Jocasta has a habit of showing up around holidays. A few days after Thanksgiving of 2024 was my first encounter with her. My boyfriend and I were shopping and she saw me at a grocery store. The crazy thing about that is she lives 9 fucking hours away. She started screaming at me in the grocery store. Then boyfriend came over and they started yelling at each other. Eventually, they were both asked to leave the store. She appeared again a few days later at his apartment. Another screaming match ensued and she left. Listen, brother. All right. I'm going to give you some advice. All right. It's 2025. All right. There has been a whole side fighting for equality, for everybody to be equal and on even footing. So that means nobody's going to look down on you if you just give your mom a subtle but firm uppercut and just like lift her off of the ground. At this point, you got to do it. If she is this much of just a toxic bitch and defending her brother from... if I found out my brother, not even my kids, just his kids, pyre, homemade guillotine.
Yeah.
And it'd probably take me like 6 or 7 drops for the guillotine to work fully. But
yeah, because it's just a dull piece of metal that's like not even sharpened.
Why do we care so much about humane? Like, why do we have to be humane with people who are inhumane? That's the craziest shit, man. Like, you will go out and you'll hurt a fucking kid. The epitome of innocence. Mm-hmm. Like a child, you can look at a child that grew up in the fucking most terrible circumstances at 5 or 6 years old, man, the world's still magical to them. And that you would take away that innocence, you would harm that child. I think at that point, man, we don't have to be humane anymore. And I think our humaneness like separates us in a bad way from the world. Like, if you look at any other thing that happens in nature, okay, say there's a fucking, an animal that's just going about his day, and then a fucking grizzly bear attacks it and starts eating it while it's alive, just sitting on top of it. Not even like really in the mood to eat. He just takes a couple bites every now and then. That's fucked up. That's what I'm saying, man. If there's a deterrence that comes with inhumane. a big deterrence. So if you were to just, you got one video evidence of this guy doing something, just the most inhumane way is, but like you get a bunch of horses and like they just pull them apart or whatever. I don't care what you do. All right. The world is your oyster. Let your imagination run wild. That happens one time in public where everybody sees it. Guess what?
Well, see, I think that's the problem with what we have going on right now, though, is because somebody that sells drugs or somebody that, steals property or somebody that does something that technically did not physically hurt somebody else is doing more time
than somebody, pedophile, yes.
Than somebody who hurt a child, defenseless, completely unable to stop this situation from happening. They hurt them and they get a small, tiny amount of the time that somebody gets for stealing property or robbing a bank or, selling drugs. The people that do the drugs, for the most part, are adults. There are kids, and that's the problem on that specific drug dealer.
Well, we want to get we want to find these guys who are selling drugs, and we want to devote a lot of our time to that. But when they're selling drugs to other consenting adults who want drugs, we're going to dedicate our time to that. We're going to have a war on. How about have a war on fucking pedophiles?
Yes.
How about do that? How about have a war on fucking sexual trafficking? They'll be like, yeah, huge deal. We can't focus on that right now. We got to focus on drugs because eventually we're going to legalize 99% of these and fucking sell them ourselves so we can.
Yeah, the only thing we're trying to figure out is how we can put it in a pill form so that we can.
Honestly, it does feel like politicians feel like they have a better chance of getting caught for kid shit, so they want to keep the fucking jail time low just in case they get fucking caught, and then they won't have to serve life. She also showed up a few days after Christmas and the day after New Year's. She tried to show up on Valentine's Day, but my boyfriend wasn't at his apartment because he was at my house taking care of me because my dumbass decided to schedule my wisdom tooth removal the day before Valentine's Day. I was absolutely dreading Easter because I thought she would show up, but we were at my aunt's place for Easter, so we didn't have to worry. What's also good, too, is I don't know where you live at, but there's a lot of places that's they have a castle doctrine, so she just can't show up.
Well, the biggest thing with this guy is he needs to get over the fact that that's his mom. It's not your mom. She was a fucking accomplice in this whole situation. Right,
she gave birth to you. She was not a mother.
You have a restraining order. Actually fulfill that. Call the cops, get them out there, get her arrested, and after a couple times of doing that, she will be put in jail.
Or an elbow to the forehead. Have you ever been elbowed in the forehead?
Yeah.
With the pointy part? Hurts. Listen, Dylan gives you the adult advice. Don't take my advice. My advice is for building PYRES and stuff like that.
And if the guy was violent, he would have already taken it out on somebody. He's not a violent guy. He won't even fucking call the police. He needs to really and I know
I feel so bad for him. He does genuinely seem just a sweet person.
He just wants to move on with his life, but he can't because he has a shit family situation. And the best way is to get her out of your fucking life. At some point, she's going to get tired of going to jail to just show up and harass.
But that's why you need a Michael friend, though. Because a Michael friend wouldn't put up with that shit.
No.
Yeah. I'd be like, well, listen, bud, you sit right here, all right? I'm going to talk to your mom outside. And then you would hear your mom screaming, and I'd open the door. I'd be like, the conversation's getting really heated out here, all right? We're talking politics. And then I'd close the door. And listen, somebody, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
Maybe the girlfriend can just I know the boyfriend wouldn't want that, but
spray her with mace, do whatever.
What is that song? You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Well, maybe what you need is somebody to whoop up on your mom a little bit, and then you're going to be like, oh, you're going to have this moment of realization that, listen, coming from, I've had fucked up people in my life too, man, and I've seen a bunch of them get beat up. That's the good part about my family too, is I've seen a bunch of them get beat up.
Did it change them though?
No, but it was delightful. It wasn't I was like, no, oh God. I was just like, all right. Boyfriend's birthday was this past weekend, and we were having an intimate date at his apartment, and you guessed it, she shows up, and another screaming match happens. These arguments always contain stuff about his uncle and his mom's side of the family, but when I ask him about it, he just shuts down. What the fuck is this? She just busts in and just your uncle did nothing wrong. You ever play grit ball? You ever seen Medea? where they play grit ball. Look,
Yeah.
man, just always have you like a nice warm pan of grits on the damn stove for when your mom comes in. And then all you got to do is just
Dump it on her.
fling the grits, because you can't just wipe off grits, brother. They're there. Yeah.
Tar.
Yeah, they're there. That's the modern day equivalent of tarring people. That's what we could do to the pedophiles, man. Just dump a whole bunch of grits on them. And then it almost seems festive, especially in the South.
Yeah, it's like a grit spa.
Right, yeah. We could call it Grit Day. We get all the child molesters together, and then we dump a whole bunch of grits on them. And we all just sing songs, and we eat grits too. Not the grits that are going on the pedophiles, but we just eat grits, and it's a Grit Day. And I think Grit Day is beautiful, man.
It would work.
I would love Grit Day. I'd get the kids, man, be like, hey, you guys want to go to Grit Day? And they're like, fuck yeah. Grit Day. Well, actually, can we go after they dumped on the pedophiles because I don't like the screaming that much? I'm like, Then I'd ask Amy. I'd be like, hey, I'd be like, Amy, can you bring the kids after the... And then she'd be like, yeah, okay. All right. And then I have one kid come up and be like, I love to hear them scream. And I was like, all right, come on, bud. Just hop on in the car. Well, everybody's just sitting there. Festive sweaters, man. God. And that's what I'm saying, though. But people look at that and they'll be like, oh, what a barbaric and crazy world.
Yeah, what they did
Kids
was
won't
terrible.
be getting diddled, though, baby. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, why is it not a crazy barbaric world? The fact that it happened in the first place,
right?
Like,
Why is it not why don't people look at this barbarity as, there are grown men purchasing children. There are we're discovering islands full of children. I'm reading a story about how a family is defending a pedophile. I don't love anybody in my family enough to defend them.
Not in that case.
No, that's just.
But it's indefensible. That's the hardest part. And I don't think it's like a specific type of people, like, your family or whatever. Like there's some sick people, and then there's some people that will defend them. But for the most part, like, I think we're all on the same page.
I'm gonna tell you,
terrible.
Like the difficult part with my grandpa is growing up. You would hear like someone be like, yeah, he did this to me. And then they'd be like, oh, nope, take backseat. Like, I'm not. And it's so hard to be like, especially when you're young, to say, oh, that person's withdrawing that story because they feel ashamed, which it sucks that you got Melissa. You should never feel ashamed of it. Okay. That is a nasty, horrible person doing something to somebody who you did nothing to deserve that. Like, and it's nothing that you should be ashamed of. And I could see now that, that's them withdrawing a story to feel ashamed, because we did have, there's people still now that'll defend them. Yeah. That is just, it's so mind-bogglingly stupid. I 100%, I know for a fact, just because if you going to ask the kid, what would you do if a grown man asked them to suck a dick? And then what's crazy too is I told a person in my family about that, which they're in my family and I love them, but they cannot keep their mouth shut to save their fucking life. So then they went back and told my grandpa, and then my grandpa was just like, yeah, I heard you said this to this person. And I was like, oh man, that's crazy. Well, why do you think that? And he was like, because I did say it to you. And he admitted that when I was an adult. So I was just like, yeah, my bro's nasty. Like, if anybody says, anything, I fucking 100% believe them. Which is crazy because people would still take their kids around. Like, I'm just like, you dumb motherfucker. Like, if you think that, are you that stupid? Are you that?
Well, and the fact that, like, I think the most telling part of that story, though, was, and, we've discussed it in a previous episode, but was that CPS came and had that conversation, and people were telling you, say Grandpa didn't do anything.
Oh, like, yeah. No,
coaching a kid. Like, no, tell the truth. Whatever the truth, that is the only fucking thing you tell the kid is tell the truth. You're not in trouble for telling the truth.
I think my mom was like, your brothers are lying because they got in trouble doing something. That might have been when the field got set on fire. I don't remember. Like I said, I'm young as fuck.
Because those things can't coexist at the same time. Like, they can't also be sexually abused and be shitheads that start fires.
I can tell you when this first started was when... I think the first time, I know this was going on when Pokemon first started airing. Because I remember after one of the CPS things, I went to the trailer we were living in, and this fucking thing pops on. There's this like thing flying in the sky. It's like, I want to be the very best. And that would shape my life. I'd be addicted to that shit to this day. But I remember that's when the whole CPS case was going on.
Yeah, but like the fact that your mom was trying to coach the children. And I'm not like picking on your mom, but like this is a normal thing, is like,
Here's
tell
the
'em,
thing too,
like,
man, and this is what's sad, because like when you, yes, is terrible, and she should have definitive experience that he is a bad person. My mom went, like I said, went through shit that would make a fucking person kill themselves. So it's so hard, because you don't want to be like, well, there's no excuse. It's just like, man, that lady was like fucking just surviving mentally, like trying the best she could. So
yeah.
especially going out of that into just like this terrible and it's really rough. I do feel, I feel for her. I can say pretty dumb.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Not very smart on a lot of things.
it should always be supporting the child to tell the truth. Like, and that's my thing, and that's like you.
It's just when someone grows up with it and they kind of view it as like a norm.
Yeah, that's how you create more predators.
You got to think the people who grew up with him, because there's a lot of shit, man. That,
well, he wasn't the first either. Like, he probably was abused, and that's why he is the way that he was. Like, they're like,
oh yeah,
it creates
definitely.
that cycle of abuse, and like breaking that at any point in time is the ability to move forward, and like breaking that cycle. So, because abusers typically were abused, so you have to break that cycle. And I'm sorry, but like with anybody's discussion with a kid is tell the truth, whatever the truth is. You're not in trouble for telling the truth. Like, lying is the bad part. So don't cover up, don't like, and you might be embarrassed, but tell the truth, because this is the moment that could change everybody else's life.
What was that one sitcom that was like, hey, we're gonna take pictures with your shirt off, but don't tell your dad you was here. Remember, he had like fucking ice cream. This was back in like the 80s, 90s.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember either. I'm trying to remember.
Somebody in the comments let us know what Mike's talking about.
But it was like an actual sitcom that covered that too. And then when they found the kid, they were all just like kind of like not beating the fuck out of it. I think we do have just like the wrong mindset about it. Because right now, man, there's a lot of people getting busted by Invictus, which I don't know when Invictus was formed or who they are. The motherfuckers busting people every day. Like, they're on their shit right now. So if the fucking judicial system would just pass harsher laws for this, we'd fucking get somewhere, because obviously catching these guys, no problem. It's just that when they catch them, and because you can't be like, oh, cops are catching them. They're fucking arresting these guys. If somebody goes up to a cop and is like, hey, I have this whole folder of this evidence that this guy, they'll be like, fuck yeah, they'll take the folder, and then they'll arrest the guy. Like, they're doing their part. People are doing their part to catch the people. It's just that once we get them into the system's like, wow, we're going to give you 5 days of probation.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, fucking there's politicians that fucking control this shit. That's like, oh, well, if I get caught, I don't want to spend life in prison.
Well, and I think even less of what they might be in trouble for. I think it's that in their feather in their cap, drugs have been the problem. Fucking robbery is the problem, and so like more people sign on to that, and that's once again
the goofy shit about the war on drugs. Sorry for cutting you off, but the goofy shit on the war on drugs is if you arrest a guy for having drugs on him,
yeah,
charge him with a felony, and they say, all right, well, now when you get out of fucking prison, it's going to be impossible for you to find a job.
Yeah,
like, you're going to have to fucking go somewhere where you're doing manual labor, breaking your motherfucking back every goddamn day. Guess what they're more likely to go back to? But if someone, and you were like, oh, we're not going to charge you, man, but we're going to fucking, you got to spend, we catch you with heroin. We're going to send you to this place. You got to spend 2 weeks at that place. Not someone selling, like, mass distributing fentanyl and shit like that. Yes, that guy needs to go to prison. But someone who is doing it, like, they have it on them. If you took that person and then you sent them to like a 2-week rehabilitation place, maybe when they come the fuck out, they'll be like, hey, I've been, 2 weeks without it. I'm somewhere in life now.
Well, and the part that backs up all that, and like, this is one of the issues that we have in Lexington right now, is we have so many homeless people, and it's one thing to help them, but it's another thing to enable them. If they don't have a reason, like, so that person comes out of rehab, like, if they lost their job, if they're homeless now, it makes it so easier to relapse because they don't have a support system there. But like, it should always be the goal to get them off of the support. Like, they shouldn't live as a homeless person in a homeless shelter for years of their life.
Dylan's actually the rough one on the homeless people too.
Well, and it's not that I'm rough. It's that you don't help people become better by enabling.
Yeah, just by coddling.
Yes, if they have all their needs met and no desire to move on to the next step.
Right, we got you a place where you can go get your fix up here, and then you can come back down here. We'll get you some food and shit like that. Yeah, I mean, fucking.
Why work? Why?
Right, yeah, why do anything
like,
if that's the? I remember how I used to be so soft on them too, and I'd just be like, man, I was homeless, and it's rough out there. And then you got the guys on the trank that are like, and I'm just like, look, just fucking. Just throw them in a dumpster. Like, at this point, just throw them in a dumpster. Like, just fuck, I don't know what to do.
Well, and it's help them get clean, but like they have to be inspired to get clean. They have to hit bottom. Like, if they're never hitting bottom, they're never going to desire to do better. Like, and we have such a weird system of how things have went. Like, I'm not anti helping the homeless. I'm just pro helping them actually get back on their feet and try to kick drugs, try to get them a job, try to get them housing, but it shouldn't just be this perpetual machine of, I don't have to work and I have a place to stay, food to eat, healthcare, and I get to do as much drugs as I want.
So essentially what you're saying is that we should help them, but we shouldn't coddle them. We should,
not forever.
We should let it be known that, hey, you do need to get your act together. You can't just be staying here. So I think what Dylan is saying is that he would like some cops to walk up to like the homeless person that's been there the longest and just execute him in front of all the other homeless people to let them know that they don't want to stay there and keep being homeless.
How did you decipher my exact tactics there? Well, no, and I think
I'm good at reading between the lines, brother.
It's a problem with our society because, I mean, it's the same thing with like any of the government assistance. Like, you lose the government assistance before you ever get back to where you were at. So like, basically, if you're on government assistance, you get so much help. But then the second that you try to do better with your life, like you get a raise at work or you get more hours or something, all that assistance goes away.
Welcome to the fucking struggle, bitch.
Now you're poorer than you were. And so like your kids might not get the food assistance or you might not have the housing assistance. So now rent goes up and like all those things fall off long before you end up equaling out. So there's no way to like convince people to do better because they actually get penalized when they do better.
Right.
And so our system is set up in such a broken way that we're not helping people get off the assistance. We're just like,
right. If it was like a building system, listen, this is why me and Dylan should, if we were in the government, bro, we'd be fucking killing it. Cause this is essentially what Dylan's saying though. It's like government assistance is always the thing that you need. Okay. I don't give a fuck how many people you think are taking advantage of the system. If a fucking child that would not get food otherwise gets food, then the system fucking worked. It worked. Yeah. All right. So what Dylan is saying is there should be like a base. That's the minimum you get for, you know what I'm saying? And then, hey, if you do this, you start working 20 hours a week, we're going to raise that shit. We're going to give you a little bit more. And essentially what you should do is you should have it like a ladder. Like, hey, you could do this. You could fucking do this. You could do this. You could do this. And then once you're at this spot, we'll have you work with like a caseworker or something like that to see if we can get you off all this shit. But to be like, hey, go get a job and then do this and this. Like if you have like a work-based reward system that gets you off of that pretty much helps people get off of this. We'd have way more people getting off the system, being more financially stable. And then it would be harder for people to just be like, all right, well, I'm a perfectly capable individual that's just going to stay on government assistance for the rest of my life because it's the easy thing and I just want to party and I want to leave my kids with my mom and I don't want to be a fucking functioning member of society. If we said, hey, fuck that person, but these people that are on government assistance that do want to do better, instead of saying, hey, when you start working 20 30 hours a week because you're trying to better yourself, instead of saying, hey, we're going to cut that out, be like, no, we want you to do that. We want you to fucking build up until you're able to not be on government assistance anymore.
Yeah,
that would be the fucking smart way to do it. But once again,
well, I think the way that I break it down is, basically if you were to be a single mother with, a set number of kids, like say with the insurance, the food assistance, the housing assistance, all the different ways that you can be helped, like you're not employed at that point. I think that equals out to being like almost making like 60 grand a year. And then as soon as you hit like 19 grand a year, all that stuff goes away.
Yeah, all that stuff goes away.
And so instead of like basically screwing your whole family over by making $19,000 a year, you'll just stay below that so that you don't end up losing all of it. And it's not that you're taking advantage of the system. The system is set up in a way that once you start trying to do better for yourself, all of it goes away, and then now you are more broke than you were $100 before, because all that assistance just dries up and disappears. And I mean, it's still on a tiered system, but it's not on a tiered system where
it helps you if you start progressing, like, or you're still okay if you try to start progressing.
Yeah, like they don't take away like 50 cents for every dollar you make. There's like cutoffs where it's just like, okay, you don't qualify anymore, and so all of it goes away, and then you're in a position where you're actually behind the 8 ball worse than you were on the government assistance. But like the same thing, this is all together with, we need to help people, but we need to help people help themselves out of the scenario that they're in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there should be there should be government assistance, but it shouldn't be it should not reward you for having more kids while not having a job. It should not reward you for being a fucking moron.
Well, and
because that's one thing, man. I look at people. That's I don't fucking, like, if someone's like poor, homeless, I don't really judge. If you are poor and you got like 6, I fucking judge you, man. Like, judge you entirely.
They got 6 kids.
Right? Yeah, but still, like, they'll continually have kids while not. And I know there's people in my family like this that'll just keep spitting them out and struggling. And I'm just like, fucking stop. Like, that single mom who wants to work and shit like that, she shouldn't have her benefits cut off. Until she's making $60,000. There should be like a system that's like, hey, fucking. That at least like, it doesn't have to reward, but like I said, essentially stay the same until she gets to that level. And we don't have people that could just sit there for fucking ever and just take advantage of it and be like, hey man, if I have more kids, I get more,
Well, and the benefits decrease as your ability to take care of yourself increases, till there's like a trade-off point of like where you basically step off the assistance and you haven't lost anything.
Have you ever had someone try to single mom you before?
Single mom me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
Like, you're selling something or you have some kind of service and they're like, oh man, my kid would love that, and I'm a single mom. So me and Amy, back when Hatchimals, I don't know if you know what Hatchimals are.
Yeah.
But when they had first came out, you could not find them motherfuckers. And we had, I think, 2 of them. Because we're going to sell them for a lot more money. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Look, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But this lady was like, man, my kid would really like that. And, I'm a single mom. And, well, boo-hoo, bitch. Like, choose who comes in you better. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I am flipping this egg for a lot of money because you guys fucking, it's like Dwight Schrute when he bought all the Barbie dolls, because he was like, parents wait till the last minute for Christmas. Which I understand people are paycheck to paycheck, but still, it was a Hatchel.
But I mean, it's like, I get that a lot in the business world, which is funny because like business people are always like, pay, like, I charge what I'm worth because I'm worth all this. And then they are the type of people that are like, can you do that cheaper? And it's like, wait, motherfucker, you were just saying like how you demand this much for your service, but my service, you're going to be like, oh, can you do that cheaper? Oh, we don't do discounts on our stuff. Oh, but you want me to do a discount on my stuff. Like, but they're the same people of like that single mom probably goes out and gets her nails done. She spends money on, taking her kid to Chick-fil-A. If you really want the fucking Hatchimal, pay the fucking Hatchimal price. Like, you didn't buy it soon enough, so now you have to pay the
right.
markup.
And she was
on
like,
it.
man, if I was selling a block of cheese, and she was like, I'm a single mom, and then that's different. But this is a want, not a need. And I'm sorry that I happened to walk into a Walmart at 3:00 in the morning, right when we used to hit Walmarts all the time trying to find these because we just wanted one for Christmas.
Yeah.
Then we happened to stumble in there one day, and right when they fucking restocked them. Amy used to do all sorts of cool shit like that, man. She used to. How long ago was that? 1 second. I have to think. So I'm gonna tell y'all something. The most illegal thing my wife did. She is a by the book type of lady too. Okay, so I'm pretty sure as long as I don't give away a lot of information, the statute of limitations is up on this. But it was a crazy thing. So there used to be this thing, especially down here in North Carolina, and anybody who's had a wife who did couponing might know the thing that I'm about to talk about. But with a particular brand of store, all P&G coupons would give you the discount for any item, any PNG item. So, say you got, I don't know, 100 fucking 25% off or $11 off of a Crest Spin toothbrush that are like, you know, $40. You get $11 off coupon. Well, you can use that $11 off coupon on a $7 thing of Tide. And then you've made $4.
Yeah.
So this was in, and they knew, like the company knew about it for a while, but they didn't do anything about it. And I mean, what sucked though is Amy was told by somebody else how to do it. And that person could not just like keep a good secret. So they kept telling people. And then eventually it became like a big thing where they had to like stop doing it, which I think the company that was allowing it didn't really give a fuck because they would get reimbursed.
Back,
they would get reimbursed for all that shit. So they're like, fuck yeah, we can get rid of shit that we wouldn't normally get rid of just by taking these coupons. But yeah, any of the PNG coupons you could use for any PNG item.
So there was no stealing though. Like the company was letting it happen. So,
well, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't know. I'm not going to name the company name, where it was at, what happened, the kind of stuff. But I do have a picture of this. I'll show you later. We used to have just like a wall of just like crazy ass product. We used to go places and like sell it for deals, like, because you know we got it for free. So if you wanted Game Pods half off, which I mean Game Pods suck, but if you wanted them for half off, we had it, bro. We were slinging, like, yeah, we were out there in the streets. Like, what we should have done now looking back at it is we should have sold them by like eighths of Tide powder. Just, you want some? Yeah, fucking. It's only a quarter. It's only a quarter. 2 loads right here. 2 loads. That might be actually a good way to do that. Go buy laundromats and shit, because you know they got to pay like fucking $8 for a packet of fucking detergent. Just go by there and just start. Psst, hey, you want your clothes smelling nice?
You got the trench coat with like all of them laid out inside,
right? Just like
you want fresh scent.
Take your selection. Take your time too, because it's like I pull up my shirt. Like, this is giving me a horrible rash right here because all this fucking product touching my skin. So yeah, take your time, because honestly, I like to breathe a little bit because it hurts like fucking hell. Oh, we got one more paragraph in this, by the way. Oh. I love my boyfriend. He is the best man I have ever been with. Our relationship is great. Our sex life is even better. I am not breaking up with him, but I do not know how much more I can handle before I blow up, which I do not want to do. I've tried to tell him to call the cops, but he says it would be too much of a hassle since Jacasa's side of the family is quite disturbing. I think he's scared. Any advice on how to get him to see that maybe the hassle would be worth it if it would get his mom to leave us alone? Now, it is unfortunate that happened to you when you were a kid, but you are an adult now, so this does need to be handled like an adult, because anybody, like, if you don't want, no person wants trouble at the doorstep all the time, especially when there are ways to handle that trouble, but the other person is refusing to do it. So I can get why the girlfriend is upset. Also, she is capable of whooping an ass too. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, if it's that much of a problem, like, if he's just like, I don't give a fuck, let the bitch talk her shit and go the fuck on somewhere. I don't give a fuck. Maybe that's his just view of it. He's just deaded the bitch, so he doesn't give a fuck when she comes around. She's like, God, fucking leave. That could be it. And then that would be up to, you know, you laying out a good old fashioned ass whooping. Yeah, if he's just refusing to do stuff and it's like actually like fucking with his head and shit like that, it's like, bro, there's only so much. You are not his mom. You are not there to make all of his problems go away. That's not what this is. And if he's refusing to do it, then yeah, there needs to be like talks about, hey man, you got to like step up a little bit. It is unfortunate. Like I said, terrible childhoods are, what do you call it when it happens a lot? Dime a dozen. Is that it?
Yep.
A dime a dozen. There you go. I thought dime a dozen. Maybe it's like 1 in a million. That means very sporadic. But yes. Okay, yeah. Bad childhood's a dime a dozen. You don't get to adulthood and be like, well, it's because I had a terrible childhood that I won't do that. Fuck that shit. That's the only thing I don't fuck with. Like, once you hit adulthood, man, you got to get through that trauma and you got to start making headway. I mean, as long as you don't have kids, I don't give a fuck what he does.
Yeah, I think honestly the hard part for like telling her to whoop the mom's ass is you don't know what kind of dynamic he has, like where he then protects the predator, like so he might protect his mom over the girlfriend.
Well, so that might happens, and that's an easy tell that she should leave. Like it's a lost cause.
Well, I think the thing is to try and help him, which you know she's doing by having us discuss this, which I don't.
She's
think
also
is the best
she's
advice,
also conversating with him too. So,
but I think the key for you is to get through to him that he, like, that's old him. That's not him anymore. He was a kid. He was abused. Like that was his story prior to walking away from his mom. Now he's writing a new story, and she keeps trying to get in there and, fuck with you, basically. So cutting off your mom, who isn't a mom, she's a predator, and so is your uncle. Like, cutting her out and legit, like, calling the police when she shows up. If it causes violence, do the violence part. But, like, ultimately, you need to completely break ties with her, because especially if you and your girlfriend are planning on ever having kids or anything like that, you do not want this toxic thing to keep pushing into your life. Like, your mom needs to go. Be gone completely. She's not fixed. She hasn't, like, said sorry for what she's done. She is not a valuable person to keep in your life. So you need to, like, cut that toxicity out and just push it away, and then move forward with your life. It seems like you and your girlfriend have a pretty good scenario. So, like, right now you're chancing losing the girlfriend over your mom keep appearing and keep appearing and keep appearing, and she doesn't add any value. Like, it'd be one thing if your mom was a normal mom, but the amount of abuse and shit that you went through.
Once a mom defends a predator, though, she is no longer a normal mom.
And so kick her out of your life and move forward with your life. Like Mike said, you're an adult now. Like,
yeah, you
that
just can't,
stuff happened as a kid.
You can't just sit there and be like, well, all this stuff happened, and that did happen. Now you're an adult, and especially owing it to the people who are around you now, that love you now, who want to see the best for you now. They don't deserve you sitting there just in inaction, like not doing anything because maybe you're so traumatized by this or what. But once again, the cops are very good at, especially if your mom's irate when she's there. I mean, I do think seeing her get slammed and or tased or both, or I said and or, but I think that would be very therapeutic for you to see that happen. I think that would be a good thing. You have to, I don't know. It is like I said, I know my grandpa was there's still a part of me that has love for him. It's a weird thing. It's a weird concept. If somebody built a pyre, say he had touched someone outside of the family, and that person's relative was like, I need to build a pyre to burn your I'd be like, yeah, bro. Do you need help building the pyre? Like, I love you, but like at the same time, like you can't fucking do that. The good thing about him is like, I guess, I don't know, he wasn't the type that went around like children. Like, he never went to people's houses. He was always just like at flea markets,
like an opportunist. Like,
no. He was just like at flea markets and shit like that. So if nobody was around his home, he just had no targets or anything like that. So that was like, he didn't like go fucking looking for it. And like I said, his childhood was really, really rough too, which is obviously what creates they start this whole chain of pedophile lines. And
well, and that's how you break it. Yeah, like right here.
It can end with you. That's a beautiful thing about it too, man. Like, there is beauty that comes from that trauma, that hardship, is that with you, it all dies. Like, those people die with you. The memories, everything just fucking dies. And I think that's a really cool, that's how I look at my life. Like, anybody who's done anything terrible to me, like, I have spent my life trying to make people laugh, just to make them giggle and, to improve their day. That's it, man. That's as far, like, nobody knows about, the crazy shit. Like, I've not, spent my adult life putting that onto my children. So the trauma just continues and continues and continues. The trauma's done now. Like, it's done. Everything evil that someone has ever said or done to me is just, it ends with me. So,
well, and there's going to be milder trauma that your kids face, but it's not going to be anywhere close to that.
I'm toughen
level.
The fuck up. Like I said, they put ketchup on my McDouble and I asked for it plain. I'm like, you toughen the fuck up. They're like, please, Dad. And I'm like, all right, I'll go. We asked for it plain. Listen, that's all I'm saying is, like, I'm not siding with it, because Amy will be like, really? You're going back? I'm like, yeah, but we asked for it plain.
No.
But imagine, man, you got to eat dinner and you ask for it. Like, you're like, hey, yeah, I mean, I fucking eat what we're all eating. I'm not being a problem about it, but they put something that I find that's one thing. Like, there's a difference between like, my daughter will eat a lot of stuff. She doesn't fuck with ketchup. Like, that's so she's not a picky eater. Really, none of my kids are picky eaters, especially Theo put anything down. He's the best. It don't matter if they put ketchup on it. They could have put fucking they could have put caviar on it. He's going to fucking slop that shit down. Bro loves to eat everything. But if she's not picky, that's the thing. She's not a picky kid. None of my kids are really picky. If they make her shit in a way that is like physically disgusting to eat. I understand that. I'm not going to be one of those parents where I was like, no, you'll fucking, it's not like we just made a whole meal and she's like, I refuse to eat this.
See, I agree with you, but also in the same right, I disagree with you, because I think that is one of the weakest things that people have these days is like, ooh, I don't really like that. And so like something that doesn't make you vomit, doesn't make you like actually turn your stomach, like you could wipe off the ketchup. Like you could find another way.
Everybody in the house is going to enjoy their or enjoy their meal. Fuck you for asking for something. Just one thing not being on.
But the fact that you like, for me personally,
I love how we go through all this political stuff. No arguments. There's no arguments. We are now on to McDoubles, and we are arguing. All right, let's continue.
Well, yeah. The whole thing is like, I find it with like my whole family. Like I will literally eat anything. You make me something, I will eat it because it is food. Like, and I feel like people are so weak that they're like, it has to be exactly how I like it. Otherwise, I'm not eating it. And like, I know for a fact that like, I'm not talking about your daughter. I'm talking about my daughter, my wife, past girlfriends, like where it's like, oh my God, I can't eat this because it's not the way that I ordered it. And it's like, just eat the fucking thing. Like
right.
if you make something and put sardines on it, I'll either pick them off or I'll eat it. But like, I'm not going to be like, oh no, I can't eat this because it's not the way, like, I don't really like sardines. So like, I'm not going to eat it. Like you could make it other than like dog shit on it. Like it's food. Just eat the fucking thing. Like if it's better by taking the bun off and you eat the burger without it. But like to act like it has to be specifically mustard.
We got to run a poll on this one. Cause my thing is like, there are things in life that are, bro, I love food. Obviously, people could tell this. There are things in life like you get to enjoy. If we're going out somewhere or I order something from somewhere, you're like, hey, I understand they make it like this, but I don't want this on it because I'm not a fan of that. And then they put said shit on it. That is their fault. But to look at my kid and be like, well, everybody else is going to enjoy their meal, but you fucking power through that shit you don't like. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's different than like cooking dinner at home and being like, oh, I don't like that. It was a fucking starve. Like just fucking.
The fact that you're already home with the meal and it has an offensive thing on it, like I think like swap it out with some pieces of bread and wipe the ketchup off. Like it's not a huge deal. Like
also,
the next time,
is right there at my house though.
So. The next time, literally they could make it right.
No, like, I'm smart. I just check everything. I'm the douchebag that starts like fucking checking shit right there. And I used to be, man. I'll be like, yeah, everybody needs to be able to afford, to be able to live in this country with 40 hours worth of work. And then someone will fuck up my food from like Taco Bell or something like that. And I'm like, you think you deserve $15? You deserve to fucking, that's a kid job. You got to get a motherfucking man job. The craziest thing though, is when I do be seeing grown ass dudes inside of a fast food restaurant, I just be looking at them like, come on, player. He'd be like, don't you make videos, bro? And I'm like, God damn, stop it. Like,
oh, you fish for it?
No, I'll be looking at him though. I'll be like, come on, brother. Like this is a single mom job, little college kid job. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do view it. I do think they deserve way more than $7.50, especially from fucking corporations that rake in billions with a B.
Yeah.
That's what they're profiting, bro.
You can't really have a teenage kid at 2:00 in the morning working cookout and then have to go to school in the morning, like the next day. So
I think they do that now, though.
Do they?
I don't give a fuck what Cookout does. They can have little fucking children in there cooking. I'm still going to get one of them milkshakes. Shout out Cookout. If y'all ever want to sponsor this kind of podcast, I'll eat it on the podcast every day. I love Cookout.
Oh yeah, I eat it more often than I should.
It's a delicacy down here. Still nothing on Bojangles. But let us know, guys. Would you somebody fucked up your kid's food? You gonna take it back for them? Because like I said, my view is it's kind of fucked that everybody else gets, and you ask for it a specific way.
I think kids are just so fucking weak, though. Like honestly, if they put tomatoes, I used to hate tomatoes, hated them, and it wasn't that I just didn't like them. Yeah, they legitimately would make me throw up.
During a childhood, that's where you get to have those moments of weakness.
Yes, and you want to know what I would do if I got a fucking burger with a tomato on it? Take the tomato off and eat the fucking thing. That's different than
ketchup, sop it in the bread. Yeah, let me go get you some fucking white bread from the kitchen. Just throw it on there.
Yes, tomato juice gets in the fucking burger just the same as ketchup
I think being a child
does.
is where you get to have those moments of weakness.
From time to time, it would be one thing, but if it's constantly that you are
Like if you're an adult, you have to like. But if I'm an adult, if I go somewhere and I order something and it's fucked up, I'm going back up there. Like I am driving back up there to get my right shit. Like this is how I fucking ordered it, bro. I went to Taco Bell. I got the 2 classic stackers, and I was like, add sour cream. They didn't have sour cream on them. I don't have sour cream in my fridge. I'm going back and getting sour cream on it. I just paid, I don't know, like 31 cents, 71 cents, something like that for
before you left. Thought you check all your stuff.
You can't open a fucking taco to check it, bro. That's impossible. You'll lose all the taco, right? It'll just dump on you. You'll be like, fuck. Is there sour cream? Is there sour cream on my nutsack right now?
Doesn't taste like sour cream.
Bro, have you this is me eating Taco Bell. I try to do a burrito as much as I can. But yeah, man, you gotta stand up for yourself.
I just don't go back to restaurants that fuck up all the time. That's my way of dealing with it. If they fuck up enough, I just don't go back.
So there used to be a Bojangles on South Main, not the one on, what the fuck is that called?
64.
64. There used to be one on South Main, and you could literally make a bet with somebody that, bro, if you order more than 2 items, they will fuck something up.
Yeah.
Like you could literally knowingly do that. And not only that, but they took forever. And I was like, man, this Bojangles is so shit. And then I found out that there was another Bojangles up there. This is when I first moved down here. That Bojangles been long closed. But then I'd go up to that Bojangles, and it was just like, man, we got everything you want, hot, ready to go, with a smile. And then I'm just like, man, y'all deserve all the money in the world. I wish I could make you all my children. Everybody in there just like everybody's got like military haircuts and everything like that. And they're just like, they look like a machine in there. That Bojangles, bro, I don't know what the fuck Bojangles is doing, but they need to go up there and give whoever fucking manages that Bojangles a raise, because they do wonderful up there.
Yeah, I've only been twice because Bojangles got so expensive.
It's so fucking expensive. Yeah, that second part too. Y'all need to drop y'all's fucking prices. That's what I hate though. They're like, oh, if they pay the workers more, they'll just increase the cost of the, brother. They do that anyways.
Yeah, they raise the cost before they ever pay the people.
Right. And they're bringing in billions. They can afford to pay their employees a little bit more, a decent chunk more, without having to raise the cost.
Well, and they've taken a fillet from that to like that. Like the chicken has gotten smaller.
But that's also too, that's the beautiful part about restaurants that aren't quite changed yet. They're just like, they got a couple of them, man. Like Biscuit King. If you go get, like, I got a tenderloin biscuit from Biscuit King. The tenderloin's this big, the biscuit's this big. So I'm just like going around eating the fucking tenderloin.
You ain't never had a tenderloin biscuit until you had a Country Barbecue tenderloin biscuit.
From Thomasville?
Country Barbecues in Greensboro.
Oh, no, there's one. I should take you there one morning.
Because they throw their tenderloin through like a cuber so that it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Minced up so you can like literally take a bite with it. Like
the one thing that melts.
The one thing that I don't like about most tenderloin biscuits around here is it's just a pork chop.
Yeah, and that's theirs is not like that either. Theirs is also cubed at Biscuit King.
No, Biscuit King's not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It's a pork tenderloin it's just a pork chop.
Yeah, nobody makes country style breakfast like in biscuits and shit like that. Like there's this, I don't even know the name of it. That's how you know it's just a fucking place that's there. There's this one in High Point too, and it's in front of the Speedway that's near my grandma's house. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, bro, there's no sign that says their fucking name. I guarantee it's like a little piece of paper that just sits in the doorway. If you go up there and get a hamburger, you'll be like, what the fuck? Like, you guys know these are delicious. And they're like, yeah, people love them. And I'm like, just throw a fucking sign out here. Like, let somebody know that you're here and not just like a random building.
No. The people that know.
My brother got really heavy into gambling, and sometimes he would win, which was quite, I guess, luck-based, because it was one of those cafe casinos that ruined my grandma.
Skills.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he would win like a large chunk, a lot, and then he'd come home with a bag full of hamburgers. Maybe he was sucking dick for him, but I don't know. But he'd come home with a bag full of hamburgers from that place, and I'm like, what? Where are you getting these from? He'd be like, it's that place in front of. I was like, yeah, but what's the name of it? I'm like,
that place.
Yeah, it's that place. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not know? I drive out there. Nothing. There's not a sign or nothing. I was like, are you talking about the building all the way in the back of that parking lot? There's no cars there either. And they're like, yeah. And you just walk up there. There's old people in there. And you're like, did y'all just fucking appear here? Maybe it's just like a Twilight Zone thing where it's like, we've always been here.
No indoor seating though?
No, there is indoor seating.
Okay.
There's always people in there too. No cars out front. I'm just like, how I get people working here. There's no cars. Maybe you get dropped off. How the fuck is there patrons here? Because everybody, and it's old people, and it's like I'm not saying there's like good parts of High Point, but it's not a bad part of High Point. But still, I wouldn't see an old person walking there. Shout out High Point, by the way. At one point, we had so many fentanyl overdoses, we ranked higher than Las Vegas for fentanyl overdoses. And if that's not a beautiful just showing of what a small town can do, I don't know what is. All right, I guess this is a good place to end it because we are in the weeds right now. I don't know. I'm having fun with this conversation though.
Yeah.
God, it's just I wish we didn't have those people in the beginning that were just like, I get to the Am I the Assholes. Now we have that on Two Daddies Judging Baddies. We don't fuck that up now on the podcast, but on here promoting it, we do fuck it up.
Still tough to say.
Yeah, but we do have a podcast where we are more concise. We do get into Reddit, Am I the Assholes? This is for people who just want to hear, I don't know, two grown men argue about take
back a burger that has ketchup on it.
Yeah, we'll have like the crazy like political takes too, and I'm just like, we should burn people in the streets, and Dylan's like, yeah, but as soon as we start talking about taking food back, Dylan's just like, he's over there getting passionate.
Yeah,
we're wine. Look at the passion in his face. It turns a little bit red.
I think kids are coddled more than they should be these days. Yeah, I'm all for gentle parenting. That's what
Dylan's
I do.
Like, oh no, we need to go back to the time where they were chimney sweeps. Fucking make them work. Make them work. You eat gruel every night, or you're gonna turn into a.
Setting your kid up to think that everything that they desire from this world is gonna happen is setting them up for like a fairy tale land that doesn't exist. There's so many times
it does tell them though that if you went to a place and you exchanged your money for goods, you should get the goods that you paid money for.
Yeah.
And that you shouldn't accept someone giving you goods that you paid money for suboptimal.
You quit patronizing those businesses if they keep fucking up your stuff. Like, but to like,
where the fuck else we getting another? McDoubles are not hamburgers. I hate when people are like, I want to go get a hamburger, and you're like, from where? And they're like, McDonald's. I'm like, brother, those aren't hamburgers. Those are different. Those are classified way differently.
So you go to Cookout. You go to,
but yeah, they don't have McDoubles there.
No, they've got a fucking what's it called? The Big Double, like.
It's called a double burger. Big double. Yeah. I get a.
So they have it, and they have it better.
It is called the Big Double Burger.
Yes.
Because I get it cookout style with a hamburger quesadilla and some
get
Wisconsin cheese bites.
The same thing for about the same price at a different establishment where they're not.
People saw me just get hungry live.
Where they're not going to put ketchup on when you ask them not to put ketchup on. So
I don't know. We are going to run a poll on this.
Yeah, I just think that
unless we forget.
Like, my wife constantly is like, I gotta have it plain. Like, when was the last time you tried ketchup? Like, the fact that you won't even like take a taste of it, like, it's mental more than it is physical. It's not making you throw up. You don't like it.
She'll eat it with the onions.
Yeah,
pickles on it. She'll eat it with the pickles. She wants them plain, but like I said, she'll go through onions and pickles and stuff like that because she just won't do the ketchup.
I had a girlfriend that literally.
Also, McDonald's ketchup is fucking nasty. Like they're warmed up ketchup.
It's Heinz, isn't it?
But once it's warmed up, it's not Heinz. It's some fucking frog juice or whatever. I don't know. Byproduct of whatever they make.
But I had a girlfriend one time that was exactly like that. She wants a plain fucking cheeseburger. Like, and we were down at the beach. We were going out to eat at like a all-you-can-eat buffet where they've got crab legs and everything. And this chick literally went to McDonald's before we went to the buffet. So
she ate it at the buffet?
A plain cheeseburger before we went to the buffet. And she would sit there and crack crab for us, but she would not eat it. And like nowadays, she will eat it. But once again, it's like, it's a mental thing of like, I don't like that.
How do you know nowadays she'll eat it?
Because I've talked to her and she was having a crab cooking.
I'm fucking with you.
I'm not that guy.
Oh, man.
But the thing is, though, is like with my wife, she will not eat anything that she said she didn't like from being a kid and won't try it again to see whether she still doesn't like it. It's like one of those mental blocks where kids, I have nephews that eat only chicken tenders and ranch, no matter which restaurant you take them to. That's what I'm talking about.
Every kid starts off like that, though. I don't think, have you really, how old was,
my nephews are almost 30 now.
I know, but how old was stepkid when you and
6
your wife got together? 6?
Yeah.
Oh, so is she still picky?
Yes.
Really?
But like, I mean, she's picky to the point where like I have the rule of whatever we cook, you have to try at least a bite of everything.
Yeah.
And you know, whether you like it or not, like my daughter still eats squash. She doesn't like it. My 4-year-old eats squash. She doesn't like it. But it's like you have to eat a bite. We've
Because I was
made
gonna
it.
say all
Just
my
eat it.
kids started off like chicken nugget kids. I just think all kids start off like that.
They become chicken nugget kids.
I don't think they become.
Yes.
My oldest daughter was probably 5 or 6 when she stopped, and then Oliver stopped like a year and a half ago. He just was like, he was looking at like steak, and he was like, what's it taste like? Or he'll smell like, I guess that's also really good that Amy's just like a phenomenal cook too.
Yeah.
Because he'll smell like peppers and onions cooking. He'll be like, what smells so good? And Amy will be like, peppers and onions. He'll be like, well, let me just try a little bite of it. And then I don't know, also maybe just because I'm fat, and then I'll be eating something and they'll be like, oh, what you got there, Dad? And I'll be like, oh, I just, made me some stuff. And he'll be like, can I try a bite? The same thing all the time with Oliver too, is he'll take a bite. Can I have some more? You want to split it with me? I'm just like, yeah. Dick. Just that's me and Amy always do that sound to each other too, because we're about to eat something. He's like, oh, can I try it? We always know.
To get him to like it? Or?
No, that's the noise he makes when he's going to take your fucking food. And it doesn't matter what you're eating, he's going to like it. So
yeah, well, I mean, that's
but
good.
Also boys just, I don't know, they just at a certain age, they just like, I'm going to, because you've seen Oliver's not big, he's a small kid, but he's like, I'm going to eat everything in the house and drink a gallon of milk a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't gain, he's a fucking toothpick.
Oh, he's growing.
He's a toothpick. He's not grown, man. He's the size of a fucking kindergartner.
No, he's growing though. Like he needs
very
energy.
very shortly, but that boy he'll put down like a whole gallon of milk and just eat everything. And when you think that he's done eating stuff, he'll just be like, what is that? I think I found a banana. Does that look all right? And we kind of flop. I'm like, no, that's not all right. He's like, I can probably still eat it, right? I'm like, no, man, calm the fuck down. That boy loves to fucking, that's all he does is just snack. Amy used to be like, don't let him snack before dinner because he won't eat dinner. Fuck that shit. He'll still snack and then eat dinner.
Yeah,
so
that's the big thing with the girls is they like snacks more than they like the actual meal. So they'll leave part of their meal left over. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if you snack as long as you eat dinner.
Yeah,
like
that's my thing too.
If you just prove you're hungry, he will. He'll fucking... And then he'll do this one thing, though. When he's trying to get sympathy points, where he'll like eat 2 bites of a meal and he'll just be like, I'm done. My stomach hurts. Can I have some Robux? No. And then he'll be like, fine. And then he'll go into a room and then he'll go back into the kitchen and, like I said, eat everything he could fucking find. Because he only took 2 bites of a sandwich.
Because he was trying to get sympathy for not feeling good.
Yeah, he was trying to get some, especially yesterday. He did one time successfully get it off of me. Because I wasn't there and they were calling me, and I think we were here working, and I was like outside. I was like, bro, if you fucking get something, because Amy was like getting everybody ice cream.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, just get an ice cream and eat it, and I'll give you some Robux when you get home. Because he didn't want an ice cream then. And then Amy was like, well, you should get one because everybody else is getting one. You're going to be mad that you didn't get one. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, just don't get an ice cream. I don't know what the fuck they were arguing about. But then also he didn't want to go to the lake too, so I gave him Robux again. So I can give him $1 at a time though. That's fucking dope.
That's wild.
80 Robux, 99 cents. Found out how to do it.
I have no comprehension of that.
I'm pretty sure it cost me more in transaction fees than it does the fucking actually doing it.
So you need to figure out how to be like a dealer where you go ahead and get the discount by getting a bunch of them. So you go ahead and do the $20.
You can't do that though. Yeah,
no,
and they would $20 would be gone instantly.
No, that's what I'm saying is figuring out how to have a banking system where you can be like,
right. Like I wish
to
Roblox would start that. Like let me have because we have the parental account, so they can't fucking like talk to people or do anything, which is funny because I told you about him getting banned the other day, but they should have that like on the parental account where I could just be the fucking Federal Reserve and just like dish out money to them. Yeah,
that's the exact way. And then you'd actually buy more Robux or whatever the hell they're called.
All right, guys. Well, I guess this has been an episode of Mike and Dylan Hate Drama. If you enjoyed the episode, please give us a rate and a comment and
share it.
Yeah, share it. Share it to your mom, man. She deserves to laugh.
Or a friend.
Yeah, time's been rough, man. It's always good to put a smile on somebody's face. I don't know if this one is the one to put the smile on their face because it got pretty heavy at some points.
And I got all passionate about ketchup.
Yeah, he was yelling at us, which is scary. Dylan's scary is something you guys got to get over. Okay. Sometimes dad
terrified.
Sometimes I'm the mom in the podcast. You're the dad. Sometimes dad gets a little bit scary. Okay, but he would defend you if a bear attacked you. So he will. I 100% think if Dylan's going down the road and he sees somebody getting attacked by a bear, Dylan's going to get out of the car and try to figure out a way to get that bear off of you. I am 100% sure of that.
Probably.
Yeah, see, probably. He would do that. That is the type of person Dylan is. If I saw you getting attacked by a bear, I would try to help, but I'm a bit of a dumbass, so I'd just run y'all both over, which is way better than getting slowly eaten by a bear, but you might not survive it.
Mike would probably break out his phone and
I would definitely
commentate it.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't watch death, so I'd tell Amy. I'd give her the phone and be like, hey, can you record this for me?
Good content.
Right.
We should definitely see
And then
that.
I'd run them over. All right, guys. See you next time.
Later.